Your teenager just slammed the door and said they hate you. Again. 3 years ago, they'd crawl into your bed and tell you everything. Now, you're lucky if you get a grunt or a random TikTok shoved in your face. And the scariest part? Something shifted, and you don't even know when it happened. One day it was, "Can I sleep in your bed?" Now it's, "Get out of my room." In this video, I'll walk you through 7 parenting mistakes that quietly and sometimes permanently damage your relationship with your teen. Mistakes most parents don't realize until it's too late. Mistake number 1. The privacy invasion. You read their texts. You check their browser history. You go through their room. You demand passwords like you're running a CIA sting operation. You tell yourself it's about safety, but really, it's about control. And let's be honest, your anxiety is in the front seat, flooring the gas, swerving through imaginary danger like it's Fast and Furious, Parent Edition. You think you're being responsible, but what you're actually teaching them is that privacy is earned, not given, and that you don't trust them to make good decisions. Here's the thing. Teenagers are supposed to separate from you psychologically. It's how they become their own person. When you violate their privacy, you're basically trying to duct tape their identity to yours. They learn, "You can't handle my independence." So they start hiding not because they're bad, but because it feels like the only way to breathe. This is how you accidentally raise a world-class liar. Not because they're sneaking out to wild parties, but because lying becomes the price of privacy. Instead of learning to trust their own judgment, they start managing your anxiety like they're your unpaid therapist. Years later, they won't remember what you found in their room. They'll remember how you made their need for privacy feel like a betrayal. Here's the shift. Trust first. Verify when necessary. Privacy should be the default, not a reward they have to earn. If you're worried about something serious, deal with that directly, but don't surveil their entire life hoping to catch a red flag like a parenting version of CSI. Respecting their space builds trust. And when the big stuff actually happens, they're more likely to come to you because they know you see them as a person, not a problem to monitor. Mistake number 2. The emotional hostage situation. Your teen makes a choice you don't like, so you go cold. Silent treatment. Long sighs. Passive-aggressive muttering, "After everything I've done, you're not parenting. You're emotionally ghosting." And whether you realize it or not, you're teaching them this. Your love is conditional on their compliance. Teenagers are supposed to test boundaries. That's literally how they figure out who they are. But when you make their growth about your feelings, you're forcing them into an impossible choice. Be who they are, or keep you emotionally stable. So when that happens, they either rebel, "I can never make you happy anyway, so what's the point?" Or they shrink, becoming chronic people pleasers who manage your emotions instead of learning to manage their own. Either way, they learn that love comes with strings attached. And look, we've all had those moments where your teen says something wild like, "I'm dropping out to be a YouTuber," and your inner voice is already Googling boarding schools on Mars. But instead of panic parenting like a Victorian ghost, "I gave you life and this is how you repay me," try just breathing. Because here's the truth. Your emotional reactions are your job. Their job is to grow up, not to tiptoe around your hurt feelings. When they mess up, correct the behavior, not the bond. They need to know that your love is solid, even when your approval isn't. You're not a vending machine where compliance earns affection tokens. You're the Wi-Fi stable, always on, and only noticed when you mysteriously vanish. Quick favor before we keep going. If this is hitting home, or you've already winced at a few of these, tap that subscribe button. A huge number of viewers watch these videos like your teen eats snacks, secretly, silently, and with zero commitment. Already subscribed? You deserve a teenager who says thank you without being asked. Mistake number 3. The expertise assumption. You were a teenager once, so naturally, you think you get it. You survived puberty, high school drama, bad haircuts. How different could it really be? Except, you were a teen before social media turned every moment into a performance. Before school shootings became lockdown drills. Before college cost more than a house. Before mental health was something people talked about, not whispered about. But instead of acknowledging that, you call it just drama and act like their panic attack is just low blood sugar and too much Taylor Swift. Here's what that teaches them. Your struggles aren't real. Your world doesn't matter. You're not a safe person to open up to. This is how parents end up completely blindsided when their kid breaks down, drops out, or spirals. The signs were there, but you were too busy saying, "When I was your age, we walked 10 miles to school and liked it." Spoiler. No one liked it. Want to stay close? Get curious. Ask what it's really like to grow up in their world. Listen without correcting. Validate without comparing. Because when you try to parent the 2025 version of yourself, you'll miss the 2025 version of your kid. And if you're still not convinced, ask yourself this. Would you want teenage you to be raised by someone quoting MySpace wisdom and thinking TikTok is the sound a clock makes? Mistake number 4. The achievement obsession. Every conversation becomes a performance review. How are your grades? Did you study enough? Have you signed up for anything that sounds impressive to Harvard? You track their GPA like a stock portfolio, but forget to ask how they're actually doing. And when their mental health crashes, you're shocked the NASDAQ of your child is in freefall. Slowly, they stop telling you because what's the point if all you care about is the outcome? Here's what this teaches them. Your love is earned through success. Your attention comes with strings. You're not enough unless you're excelling. Some kids burn out chasing gold stars. Others give up entirely. If I'm not valedictorian by Tuesday, why even try? But here's what they really need. Someone who sees them, not just their stats. Ask about their thoughts, not just their test scores. Get curious about what lights them up, not just what checks a box. If your teen says they want to be a juggler or a YouTuber, maybe don't panic like they just confessed to joining a cult. Because when they know they're loved for who they are, they stop being so afraid of falling short. Mistake number 5. The problem minimization. Your teen says, my friends are icing me out. And before they even finish, you're already in therapist mode. Don't worry, honey. In 5 years, none of this will even matter. Or worse, sounds like teenage drama. You'll be fine. If you've ever tried your best and still got a teenage eye roll so intense it caused a small earthquake, you're not alone. Hit like if this resonated, and remember, it's never too late to rebuild trust.